Formula One leaves the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza and heads over to the Baku City Street Circuit. Welcome to round 17 of Formula One in 2024. It's the last European race of the season. A mixture of the old and new, Baku's Windy City will play host to Formula One's latest chapter. And going into this, it's round 17 of the season. Next up, in a week's time, we move over to Singapore before another month-long break. October sees us at the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas before going over to Mexico City on the 27th. November takes us in with Sao Paulo at Brazil, followed then as well at the end of the month in Las Vegas. Then in December, we go over to Qatar and Abu Dhabi to end in the deserts. Max Verstappen leads the Drivers' Championship on 303 points to Lando Norris on 241. Charles Leclerc's victory in Monza puts him on 217. Piastri and Sainz rounds out the top 5. Hamilton, Perez and Russell in a battle over 6th place, whereas then it's a massive gap before Alonso, Stroll and Hülkenberg round out your top first 11. Second half of the page, it's Yuki Tsunoda on 22, 10 clear behind Daniel Ricciardo. Gasly's on 8 before we have 3 drivers linked on 6. Behrman, who's back this weekend, filling in for Kevin Magnussen, who's got a one-race ban, and Alexander Albon also on 17th position. Esteban Ocon has 5 points, the last driver with points. Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent no longer in the championship, still in 20th. Franco Colapinto having a better race result in his first ever Grand Prix puts him now ahead of Valtteri Bottas, who has no points and is at the bottom of the driver standings. In the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead by a small margin for the first time in over 3 years. It's now McLaren who are chasing them down, with Ferrari also in the 400 points bracket. Three-way fight for the top at the front, then it's Mercedes alone in 4th position. Aston Martin has secured 5th, then it's the battle between Visa Cash App RB and Haas F1. Alpine are getting back into it, but their biggest competitors are Williams, Sauber still with no points on the board. Let's take a look around the Baku City Circuit here in Azerbaijan. 3.730 miles, 20 turns in total, the longest straight in the history of Formula One. It's fast, it's challenging, the drivers love it. Under the Rolex line at 8th gear, maximum RPM as you head downhill towards turn 1. Slam on the brakes, down to 3rd gear, flick the car in towards the left. Pick up the exit curve to get as straight a line as possible, down towards turn number 2, another 3rd gear corner. Front always wants to drag you out wide as well. It's hard to get a good exit as you open up the DRS and head down towards another left-hander at turn 3. Good opportunity for passing here with late lunges on the inside line, but it can go wrong, and it tightens up as well from here on out. Turn 4 is your first opportunity on the circuit to go right. You're still in the new part of the city as well, surrounded by the new modern machinery buildings. But that's all about to change. 5 and 6 chicane starts to lead you into the old city. It's on the same part of the motorway as the start-finish line as you head back up towards the beautiful towers in the distance. Now, as you watch from 3 lanes down to 2 and then down to 1 as you come towards the castle section into the old city, a dramatic uphill battle where if you make a mistake here, it's going to cause huge amounts of problems. But back up then to a motorway as you hurtle down towards the fastest parts of the circuit as well. Make a mistake through turn 12, the rear steps out and you slam into the wall. It's a battle of nerves as well as you head into a downhill braking zone from 8th gear to 3rd into a very tight corner. Sudden drop downhill, it helps grow gravity, but it's detrimental in the braking zone. Flip the car in again to the left, and now you're flat out all the way back towards turn number 1. Still navigating through these parts of the corners of turns 21, 22 and 23. Get it wrong, drift into the barrier, it puts you on a downward path. But at the same point, don't get your DRS point exactly right, you lose about 2/10 as you're constantly gaining speed over 200 miles an hour up to the line. And that is a lap at the Baku City Street Circuit. The wonderful Baku City Street Circuit then for round 17 of Formula 1 in 2024. Hello everybody, welcome to watch along coverage of the second practice session. This morning, very much interrupted with red flags galore. It's time to everything else to get started. Let's hand over then as we get ready for the intro. And first of all, to Natalie Pinkham.
Welcome back to Baku. Okay, here are your times then. For the rest of the weekend, we've got the second practice now, followed by the F1 show at 3:15. Tomorrow, practice 3 at 9:15 with quali at 12:15. And on Sunday, we've got a race start of midday and a build up to it at 10:30. Right, let's head up to our commentary team of Karoon, Bernie and Harry Benjamin.
It's free practice too for the 2024 Qatar Airways Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Welcome to the Baku City Street Circuit. The Windy City always gives us a fascinating event. It's round 17 of 2024. We're 2/3 our way into the season. The championships are hotting up. Everyone thought it'd be a walk away for Red Bull and Max Verstappen. Well, this is a circuit where they've won out 3 years running. Sergio Perez is the only repeat winner here as well. Max Verstappen winning in 2022. He's never had a pole position here as well. The last 3 have gone to Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton had one in 2017. Valtteri Bottas had one in 2019 as well. The times are fantastic. To get used to it, with it, the hardest tyres available. C1 hard, C2 medium, C3 soft tyres for the quickest times. The sun setting here, and it takes a long time in Azerbaijan for the sun to go down. They are beautifully reflecting with the sea just alongside. And we welcome you up to the commentary box as we start free practice number 2. Alongside me in the commentary box for this session is Jack. And Jack, looking at this wonderful city, old and new, it's just perfection as the sun goes down here on the circuit. Clear, track temperature at 39 degrees, air temperature 28. Time to get some meaningful long distance running in.
Yes, absolutely. You got some... Hold on, I just realised I need to... Hold on, be right back. There we go, I had your stream on in the background just so I could... Just so I can keep an eye on the chat. But yeah, no, we got some really good running going on here. A little bit of a disrupted session when it comes to F2, but... and F1 to an extent as well. But I think that we've got some good long distance running, and I just want to say how beautiful the Baku city looks. Like, it is probably a dream destination of mine to go there at some point.
I've joined
you
you
on
on
that. Absolutely beautiful.
I can't believe we have a castle section as well, and no, it's just one of the tiniest positions. It's unbelievable, this circuit. Max Verstappen topped this weekend's opening practice session. He was a 145.546. Lewis Hamilton, 145.859. Sergio Perez, 145.922. All within just a couple of hundredths of a second as well. It's absolutely fantastic to be underneath the 10th of a second. Let's see Laura Winton down there in the pit lane talking. Ralf Schumacher's there too, because all eyes are on Franco Colapinto, whether that car can be repaired after its hit this morning, Jack, into the barrier.
Yeah, Colapinto just lost it going into the corner. It is only, I think, his second Grand Prix, so obviously mistakes will come. Or he never driven anything like a Formula 1 car before, and it's just a little mistake, but hopefully they can get that thing repaired and he can get some running. I think as well he might be the first full-time Argentinian in F1 since 2003. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you're correct there as well. It's I think Gigi Manacane. I don't know. I think.
Let me prove. Hold on.
It is Mazzacane, I believe. Anyway,
Mazzacane.
It was Mazzacane, I thought so, yeah. That's a down to Ted, then he's down in the pits.
Soon to be joined by Charles Leclerc because his Ferrari is finished. Not only is it finished, it's ready to go. Tyres are on, tyre blankets are on, and it's ready to fire up. So great work by the Ferrari mechanics. Yes, it was the lesser amount of damage to be repaired than the Williams of Franco Colapinto, but nevertheless they have done a good job, and Leclerc is ready to go and to make amends for that little mistake that had a big consequence in free practice 1. I've got to tell you, Harry, I've just eyeballed the Williams of Colapinto. I would estimate that's minimum another 15 minutes worth of work going on to that car. It's nowhere near finished. If they're good, they'll get it out in about 10 minutes. But I would say minimum 10, 15 minutes before that car gets going.
All right. Thank you very much. Green lights on. Away we go then for this second session. Just want to bring on some news as well that happened in the previous team principals press conference that's come through, because it was announced that there is a possibility that the standalone F1 race for young drivers as well is now increasingly likely to happen this year as well. Let's just go through, because it could happen this year, but it could be one car per team only. So this is what happened in the press conference that was a few moments ago. There is Christian Horner now. The idea tabled by Red Bull team principal Christian Horner at an F1 commission meeting received initial support from F1, the FIA and the teams themselves. An end-of-season event is considered easier logistically than trying to crowbar it into the season, and can be marked to make commercial sense for those involved. So the sprint race regulations are likely to be the basis for the sporting regulations, but a normal F1 season is governed by budget cap and engine component limitations, so new regulations needed to be drawn up as well. It could happen. It comes to an end at the long season, but I think it could be a great time, a great opportunity for these young drivers who are fully supportive of it. So Christian Horner, so this is just coming in fresh off the bat. So it looks to be that we could see this sprint race for young drivers happen at the end of the year, Jack. And I think that's a good idea, but why we need one car per team? That's a 10-car race. Let's get them all out there. Got 2 cars each, and they're museum pieces at the end of that. Never going to be used again.
Yeah, got to be careful though. We'll get Mahiva Radkunathan in a car though, and we don't want that. Well, no, I would want that. I think it's funny, but I assume the team probably won't.
Budget caps and all that lot. But yeah, do you reckon it's a good idea to have the sprint race post-season? Make sure it doesn't affect anything? Yeah. Yeah,
no, to me, it doesn't affect the cost cap then.
Yeah.
It also... My bad. It also would also mean it doesn't... The teams can put all their focus onto that, rather than just putting something... I can't say that on stream,
Is everything
together.
Is everything okay on data?
For now, we don't see anything strange.
Check from left to right. Single feels heavy on one side compared to the other. Light on the right corners, heavy on the left corners.
Weirdly, that's the same thing.
Okay, so Charles isn't too happy. I swear I heard something similar this morning about George Russell saying the same thing, that the left-hand side...
crashed his car then?
Yeah, that's true actually for Leclerc. He shouldn't have crashed it this morning in practice. He's got to get out there and get it all sorted after throwing it into the barrier. But yeah, carry on with what you were saying about the sprint race for that came through.
Yes, absolutely. It's so that teams can put all their effort into that, rather than not putting it fully together if it's during the season. I
agree, and I think I like the idea of wrapping up the F1 season and having a rookies event at already the rookies event. So it's a 2-day post-season test. Throw in a little 17-lap race, get these guys some experience and do it. But personally, make it 50%. Let's properly go for it. 50% race. Let's see what they got, and let's give them all a proper crack at the whip, in my book. Let them have a pit stop. Let them have everything that you should have in a Grand Prix. Because you don't get that in sprint races. You need an active pit stop to come through. And I think it'd be very useful, and also it gets all the rookies. Jack, crucially, they're 100 kilometres because they have to do 100 kilometres. So go gets them in.
And it gives them some racing experience,
Yeah.
other than just practice time.
And how about this then? If it's one car per team, throw in in the second car, throw in the professional driver. So then you've got a comparison between your signed driver and an upcoming driver in the same situation. Throw them into the mix as well.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds fair to me. I mean, you've got Antonelli and Russell coming up next year as a new teammate, so that's going to be good.
Yeah. Red Bull just stuck Max Verstappen and go, wait, mate, you're slow.
Hopefully they would use Sergio Perez, but then everyone goes, oh my God, you're faster, you're going to be the Max. So, yeah, RB might be a bit in trouble, actually. Unless they put Ricciardo in the Red Bull and Yuki in the RB, and then they put a rookie alongside. To be fair, that could be the only way that Ricciardo races for Red Bull again, if that happens. This is Lewis Hamilton. He's on the radio being blocked by Red Bull.
On the radio.
This damn windshield's taken away of my vision. I need to come in. And this is super distracting.
If we just keep temping it, they'll get that windshield removed.
So that windshield is an aerodynamic device that helps lift the air that's distributed alongside the car and the halo over the driver's head. It's not designed as anything for the driver to see through or have visibility. It's purely there as an aerodynamic tool. But obviously on that Mercedes it's a little bit too high, so they've asked to remove it. I suppose that when you've got a halo, the last thing you need is a little tiny bit of windscreen that doesn't do anything getting in your way of vision, especially through the castle section.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The windshield, I immediately thought of like a car windshield,
Yeah.
you know, like the windscreen. I immediately thought, I was like, damn, are we be that far forward? Like, I didn't know that this was IndyCar, jeez.
I was going to say, Lewis is definitely not going to want to try that then. The aero screen in IndyCar, which had their last
I actually
race.
like the idea.
I liked the aero screen more than the halo, to be fair. I think the aero screen
Yes,
does
I
more
agree.
safety than halo.
Yeah, you got like you got the little plastic area, or the small little piece of debris maybe, and then the hard area, which is the halo, to protect against something like a flying tire. I mean, you've seen a few incidents. I mean, I don't know. Was it? I think it was last year with Kyle Kirk. Was it Kyle Kirkwood's crash?
Yeah.
The tire came off and literally almost killed. I think it was Graham Rahal, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, flicked up, put into the back, and whacked the top of the halo and the aero screen smashed. Yeah. That tyre ended up in the car park and hit, I believe, a Chevrolet. Let's hear from Charles Leclerc again.
I mean, check the data, but I think the car is bent somewhere.
I wonder if, as you say, Jack, that's probably from hitting the wall somewhere.
Maybe. But I'll say this about the tyre thing. Do you reckon that the people actually got paid for the damage?
I don't
I knew
know.
that going to a racetrack is a dangerous event. I agree. You're still in danger if you're in the grandstand still, because someone could fly into the catch vent.
But isn't the car park?
Your car park outside.
Yeah. I would assume the insurance would have covered it as act of God. You know what I mean? It's like, no one could have done anything about it. That's random.
I mean, it is a godly racetrack, so.
Yeah, that's true. Lando Norris wearing a bit wide in turn 16. I don't know. I have to look into that a bit more to see if that woman actually got paid.
They should do.
I do know that she was a track marshal, and it was her car that got hit.
Okay, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because I don't think do they pay the marshals in America? I don't think they do.
I think at Indianapolis they do, because they are.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, because they're part of the IMS safety crew.
Yeah,
Any updates, please?
Yes, we're happy to continue. We are still waiting for feedback on what we see.
So Leclerc is desperate for feedback because he feels like the car's bent, and the team are saying, yeah, we're just checking it as we go, seeing how it all works. I'm opening up his race control camera on our monitor up here in the commentary box, and he is having to fight the wheel hard. Yellow flag sector 2, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in this part of the track. Now, I think Leclerc, well, there's something gone wrong in
It's far
sector
down
2.
the escape road. There's something down the escape road.
It's Charles
Someone was down the
Leclerc.
escape-
It's Charles Leclerc. So I've just seen it on my monitor. Charles Leclerc's gone straight on down the escape road. He's done a 180 and has pulled it back out and down towards the exit now. Here he is.
Yeah, guys, I'm not driving with this car.
Did he describe it as bent? Something.
Well, that helps when we can't hear the team radio because Ted Kravitz is talking. So I think he said there's no way I can drive with this car. It's bent. And he is now cruising back into the pit lane. We can watch him now, Jack. So that Ferrari is not been repaired brilliantly, has it? Oh, here it is.
It's impossible. You cannot see that on data. Impossible. It's completely...
Well, that escalated
it's not
quickly.
straight.
Escalate quickly, didn't it? From.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc is furious, Jack. He's come back in and no way you can't feel that in the data. He's come in and he's gone, right, you need to fix this car ASAP.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I think we should invite Charles Leclerc to the comms box.
Yeah.
Third comment. He's been more. He's like talked more than Dave. One different weekend.
Let's take a look at his team. This is Carlos Sainz. Ooh, and he touches the wall with his rear right. Exit the one. And this is the clear off the escape road that I saw, Jack. Couldn't stop it.
Hold on, I've got my camera. Here we go. Yeah, he just can't turn.
Yeah. Almost a repeat of what happened this morning with him ending up in the barrier at turn 15.
Not Curly Fries says, hi, it's been a while since I visited one of your streams. I hope you're doing well.
Nice to see you again. Hello. I'm doing very well. Hope you're doing good too. I say very well.
I hope so.
Yeah, running on 3 hours sleep. There's Lando coming through. Again, that rear stepping out, coming through turn 16. Hamilton looking good. What's his second sector time? Okay, he's dropped his second. That's because there's a lot of traffic in that middle sector, where he's got Behrman just ahead of him. Piastri, Stroll and Ricciardo behind. Sainz and Alonso Perez on that time too. It's 6 in the morning for me right now. I'm riding the bus to school. Oh, good morning to you over there. 6 a.m. over there. So that would put you... West Coast? No, 6 in the morning. Where? Australia? I don't know.
What time zone are you looking for?
I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, man who does know, in Canada, Jacques Villeneuve, as we heard from Verstappen as well.
So blessed and lucky, because if there's one corner to be at, to be so close as this one, it's so tricky. And you can really tell the difference from car to car, driver to driver, which one has confidence. You need a car that pivots here because it's a pointy corner. There's a little hump just past the apex, and some cars bounce. And you can hear the engine rev up just when they hit it. Some others just drive as if it wasn't there. And the ones who bounce a little bit, the rear snaps and get close to the exit wall. But you can tell which driver knows his car, which one has confidence, arrives with a lot of speed, just gives it a little bit of steering angle, and the car pivots. And that's the one. These are the ones that are very, very fast. When you look at Verstappen going through here, he almost kisses the inside wall, the outside wall. He knows exactly that the car will turn. If you don't have that confidence in this corner, you lose 2 or 3 tenths, and you'll never be able to get some speed. It's amazing. Then it goes up, and visually you can tell that it is so difficult for the drivers because it's all blind. They go over the hump, they don't see where the next corner is, and it's all a question of rhythm. You miss this first one here, you'll miss the whole Old Town part. And frankly, sometimes you see high-speed corners and you see how impressive it is. Here, you really see which driver is talented and knows exactly where his car is going to be. I wouldn't want to have a bad setup in this corner.
No, not at all. Thank Jack so much for that. Of course, that was the scene a few years ago where Charles Leclerc, of course, and the I am stupid radio message straight into the wall. Charles Leclerc is back into the pits now. His teammate out there going fastest of anybody in the middle sector. Perez is going quickly.
Yeah, Perez is top on a 140, and we've got a yellow flag, turn 7, and it's Max Verstappen! Max Verstappen! Oh, he's straight off the circuit somewhere down turn 5 and 6. That's where he is with the yellow flag, and he's in that zone. Max Verstappen is off the track. Has he locked up and gone straight on as Sainz goes top? Max is on board. He's locked up! Max have got his onboard on. He's turned in mid-corner and locked up. And he had to select reverse gear. He's watching it now. He's not knocked off any of the front nose. He's okay, just flat spot the tyres. But Max getting too deep into the corner and locked up. I was just loading up his onboard when I saw it went off. And I looked down and saw him enter turn 5, both fronts locked up, and he did well not to hit the wall. Let's have a look at it again now, Jack.
Here you go, as you can see Max Verstappen going through the corners, going in a particularly fast section. He turns in here. Oh, he just misses the wall. Yeah, he just locks up, nearly hit the wall.
That is going to be, if he does that,
Lucky.
in quali or the race.
He's going to do that once you set a fastest time.
Yeah. Where is he at the moment? He's 4th.
Do a Schumacher.
Oh my God. I'll tell you one thing. If he had put it in the wall, Jos would have made him walk back.
That's true. I'd have walked back from there, I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but I like fitness. So I'd have walked back.
It's not actually the biggest walk back, because where he would have gone on, as Zhou Guanyu's done the same thing. Zhou Guanyu's gone straight on down at 3 and 4 and 5. Let's see if he's moving anything. Yeah, he's.
Where do you think he's going next year?
What? Oh, hello.
Curiosity.
He's really down the escape road.
Yeah, where do we think he's going next year?
Zhou Guanyu.
Yeah, because he's going to be out of a Sauber ride from what I've heard. I think Bortoletto's taking over his seat.
Job centre.
Oh dear.
He will not be in Formula 1.
I think he'll end up running his own business personally. Either that or he'll end up in like endurance racing.
More than likely IMSA or World Endurance, as you say. Something over there as well. But he's definitely not going to be in Formula 1, which is a terrible shame because he was a good F2 driver, and he probably is a still very quick F1 driver, but in that car, no.
Here we go. Josh, you can have this one.
It's going to be the same as Verstappen down to turn 3. Just does not want to stop and bails out of it before he realises he's going to take off the front left suspension. It would have knocked the entry and bounced into the wall.
We get to see the amazing turn, or no?
Yes,
oh, come on!
We're going to cut to Hülkenberg stuck behind a Red Bull of Perez. And he's on the radio.
Checo thinks we're racing.
I don't think anybody's racing at that speed.
Golden for Corinne there.
Oh my god, that is a quote. I mean, Perez might race at that speed, I don't know.
To be fair, it is Nico Hülkenberg, so maybe they were racing. Yeah. Nico Hülkenberg, a total of 219 Grand Prix starts. This is 220th here. Best ever finish was 4th. He's had a pole position, but he's also had 39 retirements, and one of those retirements was when he was running in 2nd place at the German Grand Prix in 2019.
One of those was also when he was overtaking Lewis Hamilton for the lead in 2012 in Brazil.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, the day.
I know he didn't retire. You know, he didn't retire. He spun and killed Hamilton pretty much.
Yeah, and Hamilton's last ever.
And then he had damage. And then he got a penalty for it as well, so it went from bad to worse.
I feel sorry for him that day because I thought Hülkenberg could have won that Grand Prix.
In a Force India, was he in Force India or Sauber? I think he was in Sauber at that point.
No, it was Force India. It was his last race before he went back to Sauber. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then he went back to Force India again afterwards.
Yes, he's been with about 6 different teams.
Let me count actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, as you including next season.
Well, that's 7 then, because Racing Point's a different team as well compared to Force India. And he
Racing Point.
He raced at the 70th anniversary Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. So that's 7.
He existed.
And then he did that later on in the year as well, didn't he? As well, because he debuted for Stroll at the Eiffel Grand Prix as well.
Stroll had an illness which later ended up being COVID.
Yes, and they didn't tell anybody that was what it was, and he got into a little bit of hot water for that. Okay, session is gone for a break on Sky. We're going to hand over to BBC Radio 5 Live and that of Ben Edwards.
Side by side with anybody, but then opening up a little bit into
a fairly straight line section, flat out little curves before getting into that all-important turn 15, the dropping downhill, the crash that we saw from Charles Leclerc earlier, and we have seen plenty in the past. Pierre Gasly gets through there nicely, right out to the edge, back down the hill and into the all-important last corner before you're flat out for such a long distance. For 2.2 kilometers now he's flat out, which will include crossing over the line. So he's doing some personal bests. It'll be interesting to see where this puts Gasly, because this will be a bit more of a relevant performance. Hulkenberg up in 10th place in the Haas, by the way. That's another good effort. And Oliver Behrman 13th quickest in the other Haas, so they'll both be relatively pleased. Let's see where Gasly goes. Only 16th. He goes ahead of his teammate Esteban Ocon, and he goes ahead of Franco Colapinto, Zhou Guanyu, and he also goes ahead of George Russell. Jack Doohan, a driver who is currently reserved for Alpine, but who will be driving full-time for them next year. And yeah, a smile on his face, knowing his future coming along. I'm sure he'd love to be out there like Oliver Behrman is, but well, he's just going to have to wait for his opportunity to be out on circuit. Looks as though there might be a change of helmet for Max. So yeah, he's getting ready to come back out on circuit again. But as we heard, he wasn't particularly happy with the balance. Alex Albon's done a good job. Alex Albon currently up in 5th place. They've all been running on the medium compound tyre, although now out on a soft compound. Yuki Tsunoda, Yuki, who is currently in 8th position. So we'll see if that soft tyre starts to be brought into use by some of the others at this stage. We're in 2nd practice at the moment, and of course there's a lot of work going on both for how the car's going to react over a single flying lap for qualifying, but they will also work then on race pace and try and understand how the tyres are going to last here. Quite often it can be just a single stop race. It's not a particularly demanding track on tyres, is it, Andrew?
No, and I was saying earlier, Ben, wasn't I, when Leclerc crashed in that first session, that it wasn't such a bad timing potentially, because he'd had some decent running up to then, and he'd missed half an hour. But as long as everything went okay in 2nd session, it would be shouldn't affect his weekend too much. It's now actually looking really quite problematic for him. I don't know what. I mean, it's obviously his fault that he crashed the car. Otherwise, Ferrari wouldn't have had to take it apart and put it back together again. They've obviously made some kind of error putting the car back together. Doing that and finding that sort of problem, it's not the easiest thing to solve in a 1-hour practice session, which is quite tightly packed. You know, they have a very strict program. You know, they do a bit of setup work on a medium tyre, then they do qualifying simulation runs on the soft tyre, which is what we're starting to see now. Then they do about 20 minutes or so of race simulation running at the end of the session. Leclerc, if he's not careful, he's going to miss out on quite a large part of that. So actually, it's beginning to look now that that crash this morning, not this morning, in the first session, sorry, that's old habits dying hard there, could actually impinge on his weekend quite significantly.
That's a very good point. We shall see how Leclerc gets on in the remainder of this. We're watching Yuki Tsunoda, and we're actually riding on board with him. Yuki's got good background here. He's always managed to get into Q3 in the top 10 qualifying here at Baku in the past. He scored points on 2 occasions. Best finish 7th place. That was in 2021. Last year he managed to get a point for 10th, even though he'd had an accident in the sprint race, but thankfully that didn't affect him so much for the main race. So Tsunoda always going well.
Thank you, Ben. Let's head down to 10 at Charles.
Can you see this scene down here?
Yeah,
we got the human wall, as if I think they're facing the wrong way if I'm taking the free kick, although with my free kicks they might as well be looking the wrong way. It's not going to go in, whatever. But what they're doing with the Ferrari human wall is that they're trying to unbend what Charles Leclerc thinks is a bent steering rack. I'm sure it isn't a bent steering rack, but there is something wrong with it, and that's what they're doing. They don't want to let anybody else see, or any other teams see, the intricacies of their front bulkhead here at Ferrari. So that's why we've got the mechanics providing the human shield. So they are trying to fix the steering rack and what's wrong with the front suspension of this car. And I've got to tell you, they're not much closer to getting the job done. So it looks like Leclerc, the job that had been fixed wasn't fixed properly, and so he's missing even more track time. I'll let you know when we have some kind of resolution. Just to let you know, Harry, there aren't actually any other teams having a look at the secrets of their front car, so they're only stopping
they're stopping you.
Us, yes. Seeing as I wouldn't know one steering rack from another, I don't think they have to worry on that front.
Yeah,
but
Bernie's
teams are watching you, Ted, hoping that you'll give them the information and the lovely visual on their screen.
Well, if JD does want to get really cheeky, we can actually find a spot between the knees and the legs to show the intricacies. But we're not going to do that because we're respectful of Ferrari, Bernie.
Who the hell's respectful of Ferrari? That's a new one on me. To be fair, I got in trouble when I was in 2019 testing. Yeah, well, to be fair, do you remember 2019 testing? Oh, no. Jack, do you remember that one? What was it? Racing Point turned up with the front nose that was identical to Mercedes, and then the next year they had the entire car. But let me tell you, that test where Force India had the front wing that was identical to Mercedes, you would walk by the pit lane during the lunch break and everything, and walk by during the session, and all you'd see is a group of pink shirts just around it, just making sure that no one could see it. And then at the end of the test day, they stick it up in one of the empty garages, and all the Mercedes people are right up and close and personal with it, and nobody cared. I went up and asked and said to Racing Point, "You've kept us from seeing it all day. Why have you now let Mercedes go all the way near it and everything?" And do you know what they said to me? They said, "Well, it's theirs from last year, so they're not the team we're worried about looking at it." Because they got the idea from them.
Amazing.
It was fantastic. I was like, "Oh, I've heard this." So we can't look at it, but Mercedes can.
The Alpine might have got in the way of the McLaren a little bit there.
Yeah, who was that? That's Gasly and Norris in the battle down towards turn 1. Gasly's got ahead Norris, and Norris has let Bottas through now as well. On board with Carlos Sainz. Hello, Verstappen's first sector is at 36.6. So that's closing up. Gap at the moment. Sainz and Perez by 38 thousandths of a second. Really is a surprise. Albon fourth for a soft tyre. So no third. Bottas in fifth. Surprising the hell out of me. Sainz 3/10 faster on the soft tyre to 1:43.950. Run about 1.6 seconds faster than Verstappen's time this morning, Jack.
Yeah. Sainz doing a good job. Tsunoda also in the top 3. I know it's practice, so it doesn't really matter nearly as much. But yeah.
It's impressive for Tsunoda to be up there as the setting sun gives Max Verstappen a bit of a worry and a push down the main straight. I'm looking forward to being... the checker flag will be out by this time. Tomorrow and Sunday. It's a very unusual qualifying and race weekend. So everything gets an hour earlier the later we go. Free practice 2 is at what time is it over there? Is it 5? Hang on. Yeah, 4:30. Hang on, what time is it? Yeah. Yeah. So free practice 2 is at 5 o'clock on the Friday. Qualifying is at 4 o'clock. The race is at 3 o'clock. So that's local time. So it gets an hour earlier each day, and you sort of somehow just have to accept that that's the plan. As Lewis Hamilton, a little bit of a pulsing there, Jack. Don't like to see that, but this, of course, 2 years ago, whereas Lewis Hamilton almost broke his back. The bouncing was that bad. This time, he goes third fastest.
Yeah, that's what shocked me about the ground effect at first. It's just like how violent some of the bouncing was, particularly on the Mercedes. Like, you had less bouncing in a bouncy castle than that Mercedes. You can see, is that Frederick Vesti or is that Mick Schumacher? Well, that's Peter Bonington.
Yeah, I know the driver behind. I think that was Frederick Vesti who was standing there. Mick is not in.
You know where he is now, actually?
I think Mick is up with Sky Sports Germany at the moment. And you were right, Lando getting blocked by Gasly.
No, I meant Vesti. Do you know where he is now?
Oh, where did he end? IndyCar, isn't it? No, he can't because he's already here. He did do one IndyCar race, Vesti.
Le Mans, European Le Mans Series.
Okay,
Oh, okay, you know what, never mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Gasly had a problem with the battery and that's why he blocked Norris.
Yeah, you know what, fair enough, mate.
Yeah. That Alpine has got so much reliability problems, it may as well register as well for disciplinary benefits from the FIA at this point as well. Because disability benefits from the FIA, because that's the only way they're going to get any points more this season. That car's been up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, if you take a look at the standings, they've had they were pointless up until Miami, where they picked up a point. Then they had a consistent points run actually of Monaco, Canada, Spain, and Austria. Pointless in Hungary and Silverstone, then 2 points in Belgium and the Netherlands, and then pointless since. The cobweb has gone across my commentary box. I'll just put my face into it. I need a Hoover in this commentary box. Let's hear from Verstappen.
I just struggle a lot with visibility, man.
You really struggle a lot from
Max Verstappen complaining about the sun now. That's funny. Jos Verstappen does exactly the same thing.
Oh my goodness.
Franco Colapinto.
It took me a little time to get. I was like, okay.
Franco Colapinto, who... you go on.
He also leaves the sun. He also leaves the sun as well, I heard.
Won't let the sun go down on me. Franco Colapinto, who of course races with the sun as part of the Argentine flag.
Smooth.
Thank you. That was almost poetic, that last minute and a half. Here is Max.
And here's a so brand new crash to ruin it. No, I'm joking.
Well, where is he? He's got Hulkenberg behind, so probably. If Joe goes off at turn 15, bigger visor strip, dark smoke, veggie toes?
Bigger visor strip, dark smoked, red G-force, I reckon. I don't know.
Very hard to read that writing from Gianpiero Lambesi.
Whoever it is, mate, you literally like have the worst. Well, actually, no. I've actually seen worse. It's called my own.
I don't know. Mine's all right, actually. I was thinking about it. It's not too bad.
Mine is so bad. I cannot write.
Megan is quite good. She does cursive. I don't know how she does it.
Oh my god, I hate cursive so much.
I'm reading Megan's notes now. Megan has this. Oh, here we go. Let's go back down.
And you can tell us about having a wide visor strip. I mean,
we were
obviously,
talking about it this morning, Ted, weren't we?
Sure, but I mean, obviously, I love Max Verstappen when he says, you know, I can't believe what's going on with the sun. Well, he's not complaining about the sun, obviously. There's not much you can do about the sun. But when you have this low sun, we've had this very many times here, although maybe the time of the year that we're here has changed it slightly. I'm not an astrophysicist, Bernie. Is the sun in a different position? Is it lower in the sky in September as it would be in April? Oh, that's maybe.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look tonight and I'll come back to you.
I don't know if there's anything science, weather, satellite,
I am also
solar system related. We just heard to Bernie.
Just ask Bernie. She's clearly
anything about a moon landing we're going to come to next.
She's clearly the most intelligent of all of us, Karun. So that
obviously.
is why I default to Bernie on these things. But in this way, I'm interested in how Max, sorts himself out with the low sun. The problem he's obviously having with visibility.
Well, actually, you could do it with the visor stickers. I mean, I was thinking, Ted and I were chatting this morning about Nigel Mansell used to have this enormous visor strip because he wouldn't use a dark visor. He'd use these massive, big visor strips and to block out the low sun. So if you actually Google a picture of Mansell's helmet from 91, 92, whatever, you'll see it. But actually, it is a real problem here because you've got it in your eye, particularly in the right-hander of turn 10. That's where it's really sharp in your eye, but also a little bit into 15, possibly into 16 as well, depending on the building. So, yeah, it is an issue. And you have it places like Suzuka. Le Mans is the worst one, to be honest. It's absolutely horrendous with the low sun in your eye.
Well, the low sun not impacting Verstappen's teammate, it seems, Sergio Perez, who we know is handy around this circuit.
Yeah, well, Perez loves this place as well. Victory in 21 and 23 as well. He's the only driver to take multiple podium finishes at the circuit. Third in 2016 and 18. Victory in 21 and 23. Runner-up in 2022. And if you look at it, sixth place in 2019 is the only other time he hasn't been off the circuit. That's Max again. Jack off the track at 4. Second time.
He's struggling with that Red Bull car right now. He's really struggling.
Is it me?
We all know Max is an incredibly talented race car driver. But I don't know if it's the car. It's just all the car to an extent, to be honest. Because I like the little burnout he did just exiting, a little tiny little burnout.
Let's take another look at it on our onboard cameras up here in the comms box that we were to rewind. It is worrying me that Red Bull are this far off double yellow sector 10. That's the castle section! It's Charles Leclerc! Charles Leclerc at the castle section! And he's just gone straight on, thank God for that! We were worried.
I am scared, as he would say.
Yeah, because we were worried because where that comes to at the castle section, it just stopped on our driver tracker. And Carlos Sainz has now gone off at turn 3. So Sainz has made an error now as well. Yellow flag is out in that part of the track.
What's going on with those Ferraris?
What's going on with the Red Bulls as well? That was my point. They're all locking up out there. Track temperature hasn't fallen. It's still 35.4. This is Sainz locking up. Yeah, snagged the front left. Oh my God. That's a much better turn than, as well. So many drivers making mistakes out here today. This, again, can we see what happened to Charles Leclerc? Yeah, I looked down, I saw the yellow flag fly up on the timing screen because it's just below my eyesight where we get yellow flags as well. That's why the monitors are angled the way they are. I looked down, and where it was, because we see on the driver track, it lights up the same as you at home. It was Charles Leclerc, and he's now on a lap time. And that rear is snapping out as well. How many laps has he done? 5 laps only. That Ferrari, Jack, is broken.
Yeah. I think even Max Verstappen couldn't drive that.
Yeah. Got 24 minutes to go in this session as well, and do you know what? We've learned nothing today. Absolutely nothing. Bar the fact that Perez might be up there. That would be funny, wouldn't it? The one track that Sergio Perez can win at is the one he won at a year ago and has won at more than any other driver. I'd like that because he's literally the only one not highlighted on my driver stats up in the comms box. It's insane. Charles Leclerc watching now through. First sector for Charles is a 37.2. Second sector coming now past turn 15, downhill. And it's a 42.385. So he's okay sector 2, he's lost 1.2 seconds already. And it looks like they might be diving into the pit lane. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton's faster than the speed trap. This is Franco Colapinto, and I knew someone had hit that wall. When I saw Charles Leclerc, I saw that the barrier had been nicked. Colapinto's whacked the wall through the castle section with the rear right tyre. Yeah, I thought Leclerc's done the same thing at 1 again. He hasn't. Just snatching it. Jack, do you reckon it is the falling track temperature? Because it's now down to 35.4. Is that playing a factor that they can't... Oh, right, never mind. Yeah, they can't switch the tyres on?
Yes, I think that absolutely could be it. Another one that I think could be to do with it is, of course, the broken car for Leclerc. But also it could just be drivers are struggling to adapt to the slightly cooler temperatures. I think that's the main thing here.
Yellow flags have come in. They were briefly out for a second, so I think someone just locked up down at turn 1. Let's check in with what BBC Radio 5 Live has to say. Let's rejoin.
Next, they're just so...
As happy as he was earlier today, Perez, his teammate, has set the pace. Nearly half a second quicker than anyone else. Carlos Sainz second, Piastri third, Verstappen fourth, Lance Stroll impressively up in 5th place, ahead of Lewis Hamilton, then Hülkenberg and Behrman, as I mentioned, then Tsunoda, that good job he did early on the soft tyres. That's actually still a pretty good effort by Tsunoda. 10th place Alonso, then the 2 Williams, Albon just ahead of his.
There's 5 Live stopping. So probably just
new teammate. Then Bottas in 13th place. Leclerc down in 14th place on a different pattern now, having come into the pits to get work done. Ricciardo down in 15th place. Norris also on this funny pattern. He's down in 16th place, even though he's shown some good pace here. And Max Verstappen, let's just have a look. How close to the wall? 4 centimetres, is it saying?
That's great that they can do that, isn't it? 4 centimetres is absolutely nothing, and he still drives away at full speed, foot to the floor.
No, they've parked the car in now, and he's got, at turn 2, he's got the record for closest to the wall. We've got a nice figures coming up on our screen. So Gasly, the next closest, at 21 centimetres, apparently. That's the bigger gap. Piastri 28 centimetres off from 30 and Ricciardo 31, but Verstappen at 4 centimetres at turn 2, definitely the closest of everybody. Well, we'll see if that changes as we go through the rest of this session and through the rest of the weekend, of course. We've got just over 21 minutes still to go in this session, and George Russell, we do want to see more of. He's on the hard compound tyre. Ooh, he's slipping and sliding around a fair bit, isn't he?
The grip just isn't there, is it? Particularly when they're off the line. They could do with a couple of support series going out and laying down some rubber. They're all struggling. You see every team seems to be struggling, the back end flipping out. They just don't quite have the grip they need to be able to push. He's out on hard, so I imagine they're doing race simulations now, and they've had to forego the other bits of the program that they wanted to do.
Yeah, and there's a few who've had to do that as well, because Lando Norris, he's out on a set of mediums now, having got held up on that quick lap that he was doing. So it's not at all relevant. I mean, Norris down as 16th, teammate Piastri up in third place. But we know Norris was on a lap that was right up there until he got held up. But they decided to back out of that. Don't worry, we're not going to get another quick lap on that set of softs. So let's focus on our race pace, which does make sense. Although Hamilton, interestingly, has just improved. He's done another quick lap, so he hasn't gone for race pace. Maybe they've decided to split the pattern a bit and make Russell do the race pace work and Hamilton do the single lap work.
It feels like a couple of the teams are doing that. I mentioned Red Bull with Perez and Verstappen playing around maybe with the setup of the car, and I think just having lost so much time with Russell, it makes sense really to use both cars to get the data that they need. Both two very good drivers, so actually you can get fairly reliable data off both of them, to then you're going to have to just feed it across both sides of the garage.
It's interesting that Hamilton's gone that close to 0.060 of a second to what Perez had done, because it did look as though Perez had made a big jump. Russell is currently doing race pace, absolutely, 4.5 seconds off the qualifying pace, but that is race pace, what he's doing. This is very, very important information that he's gaining for that Mercedes team, and they're working sensibly here. Marcus Dudley, senior race engineer, we're just taking a look at him working with George Russell. It's been a bit of a mishap for his program with that engine having to take a replacement, but at least he is out there and getting in some useful laps at this stage. Ollie Behrman out on circuit at the moment, hoping to become the first driver in F1 history to score points for 2 different constructors in the first 2 races, and there is a chance, bearing in mind the Haas cars are in the top 10 at the moment. Whether that will be the story when you get others like Norris, like Russell, getting the qualifying that they hopefully will do on Saturday, that's a different story, of course.
Meanwhile, quietly, Charles Leclerc's beginning to have a slightly better day. He's running around on those medium tyres. Obviously, they're used. He's got a reasonable amount of fuel in the car, and he's just set the 7th fastest time, just 7/10 off the pace, which is not bad. So it suggests that...
Well, it's getting better up there, at least, for Charles Leclerc. 7/10 off the pace, as Andrew says. Hello as well, finally. Right, let's go to the YouTube chat as it started working again. It's Pacific time for Not Curly Fries. It's UTC -7 in California. Hopefully you got to school okay over there. Early to be on the bus at school as well. Hello to Karen, who says, hello, back from Barcelona. I love Barcelona. That's where I went, was testing a couple of years ago. Hopefully that they put testing back there for 2026 and I get to go. She says, I had to sell my Baku ticket. Too much work in Spain. That is a bitter disappointment, Can. I hope you get to an F1 race soon. And if you can't get to the last Barcelona race next year, get over to Madrid. Album, I hope you get to see Baku eventually. I do too, says I share Not Curly Fries sentiment there. Jack, Behrman's on a lap, but it seems with 17 minutes to go, the drivers have switched now to longer runs. They're all out there on mediums and hards.
Yes, of course, important to get that race pace practice in. Behrman, of course, in his Haas debut, the team he will be with next year, a little bit of practice for him maybe.
Works out best for him, of course, with this is only being his second Formula 1 outing. What the hell was that? Sorry, I just jumped because there was a flash of something in the commentary box. I don't know what it was. I'm just looking underneath the desk. I looked and it looked like a flash. So I'm just having a look to see if anything has exploded. I can't see anything, which is good news. How much of a mess this commentary box is in right now, maybe don't ask, but I'll just double check that. Hoping it was just a reflection or something or other from somewhere. Here's Valtteri Bottas, led more laps in Baku, 49, than any other active driver. Let's have a word with Anwar Konamatsu, the Haas team principal, who's down the pit wall with Harry.
Well, I don't know how much of that you heard for us, but Ted, they're saying, was there a possibility that Ollie might have taken over for the rest of the season, or was that never on the cards?
Hello, sorry, is that for me?
Yeah.
Sorry. sorry. Yeah, I didn't hear the beginning of it. No. So Ollie's just standing for back. Kevin's gonna be back in the car for Singapore.
But what we're trying to work out here, Io, is obviously you've got Ollie in the lineup for next year alongside Esteban Ocon. So surely there's got to be a conversation around, do you come up with a settlement and, you know, thanks Kev, here's your golden handshake, go off and sail the Atlantic on your boat and we're going to prepare Ollie for next season.
Are you offering to be a lawyer, Karen?
I mean, I'll have the conversation. I'm not saying I'll be successful, but I'll have a go.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize you started your new service. So yeah, now I know. I'll call you next week.
No, but in all seriousness, would you consider having Ollie for the rest of the season? Because it's good preparation for next year, right?
At the moment, all I can say is our baseline price put Kevin back straight away in Singapore. But of course, you know, this weekend we'll monitor how Ollie's doing as well.
All right, thank you, Io. But in this session for FP2, how has the running been going? Hulkenberg currently 8th, just ahead of Behrman, so they've been evenly matched so far.
Honestly, it's impressive. It's really good. To be honest, from both drivers, really, with our car to be this high up at this stage. And then Ollie, again, you know, carried on from FP1. He's building up to it. And then you know how quick Nico is on qualifying trim. So for Ollie to be just up there is pretty good.
You're doing an excellent job of mastering the team principal diplomatic skills of not answering anything. But, I'm going to ask you, just looking ahead, you know, obviously your targets, RB, I guess, in the Constructors' Championship, you know, we know every position is worth, you know, sort of $10-12 million. So is that realistic for you guys to get RB, you think, the gap, considering, because they seem to have started the season strongly, but have dipped away a bit?
Yeah, of course we have to go for it, and I think every event we have to take it as it comes. To me, like every event is like a World Championship final, because normally it's about 1 or 2 points available for us. Then we are 6 points behind, 8 races to go. So every single race for us to be perfect, and that's what we are striving for.
It's going to be so tight, isn't it, in that midfield pack? One more and then we'll let you go, Io. Just on Nico Hulkenberg, we heard he had a DRS issue in FP1. Could you explain a bit more about that, what that was, and if you fixed it or if you're worried about it going forward?
To be honest, I haven't heard exactly what the issue was, but we changed the rear wing, so it's working now. So we still don't know exactly what the cause, but we'll get to the bottom of it tonight to make sure it doesn't happen on any other wings going forward.
Brilliant. All right, thank you so much, Komatsu, team principal of the Haas Formula 1 team, joining us on the pit wall across the weekend. Really appreciate your time and watching how Ollie Behrman gets on over the course of this weekend. Both Haas.
Yeah, both Hasses now just out there on the circuit. Karen says props and energy surge. Yeah, probably, hopefully. I've literally had my headphones off and had a look around. Everything looks to be okay. So it's probably just a little spark or something. Luckily, there's nothing on the floor of the box that can catch fire from where it sparked from. So all is okay. 12 minutes to go in this second practice session. Charles Leclerc, Jack, 0.06 of a second faster than Sergio Perez. It's a 1:43.484. He's fastest. Is that believable? Or are we just in, like, today has shown us absolutely nothing going into qualifying tomorrow?
I'm hoping today's shown us absolutely nothing, personally.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you, because I want a crazy race. Baku delivers. It's either hot or cold, isn't it? It's never good or okay. It's either blockbuster amazing, or you are literally falling asleep in the middle of the race. That's what Baku is every time. Which, obviously, I'm going to ask you. Oh, hang on, yellow flag set to 2, and this time it's Carlos Sainz again, who has gone straight on down at turn 7 on the entry into the castle
What's going
section.
on with the Ferrari?
They're locking up everywhere, aren't they? Oh, he's got going. Verstappen and Tsunoda going through under yellows as well, have cost them their lap time. What do you think? Who's got the best car after this little session we've had? Who do you think's got like the best setup?
I'm actually going to be interesting and I'm going to say Ferrari.
Really? Okay.
But I think when you push it too hard, it's undrivable.
Oh, another double lock up there for Ferrari as well.
You need to get it spot on.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Lando. We haven't talked much about McLaren today. They were pretty in the early stage of practice 1, but Lando keeps going off the track at turn 16. Every time we cut to him, he's running over that exit curb like crazy. This is Nico Hülkenberg blocking up on the front right and then the front left and going straight on down at turn 15. I reckon if we have a red flag, it's going to be caused by that corner. The downhill braking zone. It's catching everybody out. And they've relayed the surface here as well. So it's just a bit all slippy. I can't explain this one. Yes, right, this is weird because this circuit is actually half in Europe, half in Asia with Azerbaijan. So it counts kind of as the European Grand Prix, but not really. That's why it got renamed the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. 10 minutes to go. The current pace, Piastri's got the race pace. Go on, Jack.
Yeah, Azerbaijan, I would consider it part of Europe.
I would, yeah.
I think it's Europe. It doesn't feel like Europe, though, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like the other European countries. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't feel like a part of Europe to me.
It's got like a combination of Asia and European culture, hasn't it? And definitely with the architecture, it's
I think
fantastic.
Order of Asia, but it's not part of Asia.
I always think that the old city looks like York here in the UK, our city York, don't you think? Because
I've never been to York. I've never been to York.
Oh, you need to go to York. It's absolutely fantastic.
I get told a lot I need to go.
Yeah. I love York so much, and my friend lives there as well, and I stayed with her just after Donington actually as well. That's where I was on holiday. Love York so much. If I could stay there, I would. It's fantastic. Maybe to be fair, they've got an airport nearby, so maybe I'll just move there. That would be nice, actually. Ted's down the pits. Just have quick news.
I have an astrophysicist. I have a message from an astrophysicist.
Excellent.
To tell us that, yes, indeed, the sun is lower in September than it is April. The sunset today, i.e. the time that it will be going, below the horizon, obviously, is at 6:32 p.m. local. And on race day last year, the 30th of April, sunset was almost an hour and 2 minutes later at 7:34 p.m. local. So the sun is indeed lower in the sky now than it would have been in the Azerbaijani race's usual time of April previously.
Who's the astrophysicist, Ted?
It's Sid in Shepherd's Bush.
Oh, there you go. We've name checked. Well done.
Thank you, Sid.
Yeah. Just want to point out, George Russell has gone for a qualifying run. So we saw that. Coffee? Yeah, as I was saying, I'm trying to remember which race it was, but the sort of practices are blurring into one in my head at the moment. But they did this in Spa. They went for a run when everyone else was on low fuel. They went for a quali sim at Mercedes, and they've gone for it again. So
right, so quali sim's coming out now. Well, we were talking. Yeah, York. You need to go to York, Jack. You'd love it.
I know my girlfriend has also said she wants to go to York at some point, so...
Definitely need to go. Lance Stroll has caused a yellow...
There's like some Harry Potter thing over there.
Yes.
She's obsessed with at the moment.
Diagon Alley. The shambles in York was... Hang on, I'm going to have to stop because Valtteri Bottas has caused a yellow flag, and so did Lance Stroll. He's facing backwards down at turn 1, and he's waiting for the Hülkenberg and Norris to go through. There he is. Hello. And out he goes now. Yes, the shambles in York are the basis for Diagon Alley in the show. So, well, in the movies. So, yeah, definitely it's worth it. And they've got Harry Potter stalls down there, and they've got wonderful stalls. Honestly, I love York so much. I'm going back. I've already said I want to go back. But literally, it's like Baku, because 1 minute you're in the shambles, which feels it's got cobbles. It's all very Edwardian, and then literally you step out and you're on a busy high street with modern buildings left, right, and centre, and Disney stores and all that lot, and Woolworths and W.H. Smith and all that, and you literally it's one to the other, and that's exactly what Baku is like. Basically, Baku is York on steroids, and I love it, and that's why I love this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I just saw the Bottas there nearly hit the inside wall, had to back out of it.
Oh. Stroll just went straight on in turn 3. Let's have a look at. I've got Bottas' angle now. He did, yeah. So nearly lost the rear, did Valtteri. Hamilton dropping on the pole lap, and my life is yours. There's not curly fries. Hamilton is 60 thousandths off of Perez, 66 thousandths off of Leclerc. But Lewis Hamilton, of course, with 104 pole positions and 105 Grand Prix wins now. He's due to level that as a Grand Prix winner. But yeah, so it'll just take a little bit more time. 5.5 minutes to go. Yeah, in fact, I would, Jack, honestly, York at Christmas time, they've got the market there.
I must go at some point in future.
Christmas is the perfect time. It is so wonderful down there. And they've got a film, they do a film festival as well, Aesthetica Film Festival. It's always a favourite of mine to go.
I'm not a film person that much these days.
But it's short film, so they're really good. You get it's all over people come from all over the world and show their films. And if you go to a comedy one, it's laugh a minute. You go to an animation, there's beautiful ones on birds as well in terms of nature documentary. Oh, it's fantastic. And then, honestly, I love it. I don't know if it's just because of me being a media person that I love that, but I've always loved that whole thing about York and Aesthetica. I think that's sort of what made me know that, yes, I'm a motorsport journalist, but I'm also very much into media and TV production and everything as well. My major is in TV and film production after journalism, so yeah. So it's fantastic stuff. I think I did 2, so yeah. Did journalism as well. A little bit of a slide there from Lando. Yes, but definitely go. I should work for the York Tourist Board at this rate. Let's have a quick look at some stats here about Baku. So it's on the shores of the Caspian Sea, as we know. The Citadel runs up the hill to the heart of the city. It's a mixture of the old and the new here. It's a wonderful circuit, 3.371 miles, 51 laps. And of course, it is oil-rich, this championship. Nico Rosberg won the opening race. Rosberg, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Bottas, Perez, Verstappen, Perez are the race winners here. So it really does throw up a different variety. As Lando getting blocked by Hülkenberg just into turn 2. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. He's already down 0.4 of a second, Jack. You can see in the top right of the steering wheel.
Yeah.
The plus, I'm just keeping an eye on that. 7/10 down already, 8/10. So he's on soft tyres here, is Norris. And this is actually his first soft tyre run. He's done 7 laps on these. But he is stuck in 17th. So McLaren way off the pace.
Well, I think it's to do with the fact that track temperature is down.
Yeah.
So he can't get the tyres warmer. So I think the tomorrow's times will be much more representative of where McLaren are here.
Practice 3 is going to be a crucial hour, which is not often said. As they fly in again over what is effectively turn 20, that little kink in the start-finish straight. Let's hear from George Russell.
Okay, so we'll box into this lap. We have an issue with the car.
Wow, that is.
So George Russell, issue with the car, boxing to save it. At least he got it back in. Do you notice that new aero intake on the top of the Mercedes there, Jack? On the front nose, the little aero scoop.
Yes, I do.
That's new. It's like an F duct, isn't it?
Yeah.
wonder how that would work. Let's take a look. It's a new panel on the 63. Helps presumably with straight line speed. It'll suck the air through the car and it'll direct it where it needs to go. Obviously, manual used F ducts are banned, but air intakes are perfectly allowed within the regulations. Obviously, because if you close them up, the engine can't breathe, so might help there. Charles Leclerc holds both the race lap record and the qualifying lap record here in Baku. The pole time is a 1:40.203. The lap record is a 1:43.009. Set in 2019 for Leclerc. Pole time last year was the fastest ever. Yeah, let's double check that. Leclerc got pole position twice last year because it was run as a sprint race. Sainz and Perez, Jack, have been noted for impeding. Perez impeding Sainz.
Oh, I'd imagine he'll get a fine for that, because
Yeah.
they don't tend to give good penalties for practice, because practice doesn't really matter that much.
The inconsistency of the stewards is that they give penalty points for this now as well. And the driver steward this weekend, it's our own Johnny Herbert.
The legend himself.
I've got to try and reach out to Johnny and say, do you want to come on one of the commentaries in the box as well?
Oh, that would be great.
There's so many. I tried to get.
I love Johnny Herbert.
I love Johnny Herbert as well. I tried to get Tom Brooks, but he's busy at BSB this weekend to join us in the box. Let's take a look. Oh, Sainz, what are you doing?
What is he doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not clear to me.
Yeah.
Or is it?
So let's just confirm that to the stewards and to everyone watching at home. Mid-corner through the blind turn 15, Sainz literally just backs off right in the way of Perez. That could have been a massive accident there, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yellow flag out sector 1 after the checker. Green flag. Sergio Perez, of course, not inside the top 5 for the last 5 races. That is a pretty poor statistic, if you ask me.
Now, can he end, he's going to end this session 6 thousandths off the pace of Charles Leclerc, faster by 0.5 of a second to his teammate Max Verstappen. This is a much better start for Perez at a circuit where he runs so well out. And arguably, the next few races, he has got to do well to save his Formula 1 career and certainly his Red Bull contract as well. This is tracks coming up where he's won before. He won in 2022 at Marina Bay. He's won here in Baku twice, 21 and 23, and he's the only driver to stand on the podium multiple times now. As I said, the only year he's not been on the podium here was 2019. Yeah, failed to finish the race there as well. And 2017. So, Carlos Sainz, he's in 4th position. Best qualifier 4th, best race of 5th. Had 4 runs of consecutive points finishes come to an end in 2022. His first retirement at the circuit since 2016. 5th place finish, yeah, scored with Renault 2018. But of course, Carlos Sainz has had 35 retirements in his career, has Carlos Sainz had, out of 198 Grand Prix. Singapore will be his 200th Grand Prix start in Formula 1.
Who's that, sorry?
Carlos Sainz.
Oh, nice.
So Azerbaijan is start 199, Singapore next week, 200th Grand Prix start for Sainz, and arguably his most dominated Grand Prix, in my opinion, his best race victory out of the 3. So, interesting day. This is shaping up to be yet another bizarre Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. We do not know who's going to be where. It's Perez, back in form, faster for the Red Bulls, but Charles Leclerc, 6 thousandths of a second, he's number 1, 1:43.480. Yeah, this is going to get tasty. They've all taken the flag, by the way, so they're all now going to go to the grid and do their practice start procedures. What time is qualifying tomorrow? Hopefully I can make space. For you, Karen, over there in Barcelona, it will be at 2 o'clock. It'll be 1 o'clock British summertime, Karen. But I tell you what, Karen, go into the YouTube channel here on JB Motorsports. The qualifying stream is already up. Click notify me and you'll get notified when we go on air. So that way, and it'll tell you the time as well that we're going on. That's 15 minutes before the session starts. So that'll tell you the time in your local area. And that's the same for everybody else here as well. Just check on the YouTube page. All the live streams are up and it'll tell you when the sessions start for you. Because we're now into that really awkward part of the year, Jack, where we're having to calculate more time zones than actually is possible.
Yeah. Time does really do interest me, though, to be fair.
I keep saying I need a clock in the commentary box. Like one for UK, one for Europe, one for the race we're at, and all that lot. I need like a computer screen that... I need to know, is there a clock where you can have multiple clocks? That's what I need, like a digital clock, and just put it on the wall so it tells me like digital time. That would be quite fun. I need to look into that. Here's the results then from practice 2. Charles Leclerc is the fastest, 6 thousandths of a second to Sergio Perez in second, 66 thousandths quicker to Lewis Hamilton, who again is third after this morning's practice 1 session. Carlos Sainz is fourth, Oscar Piastri fifth, Max Verstappen is sixth, and Lance Stroll seventh, Nico Hülkenberg is eighth, George Russell ninth, Ollie Behrman rounds out your top 10. Yuki Tsunoda's 11th with Fernando Alonso in 12th, Alexander Albon's 13th with Franco Colapinto 14th, Valtteri Bottas is 15th, Daniel Ricciardo is 16th, Lando Norris 17th, Pierre Gasly 18th, Esteban Ocon's 19th, and Zhou Guanyu puts it 20th place overall after a very tricky practice 2 for the Formula 1 Qatar Airways Azerbaijan Grand Prix of 2024. So, away goes the setting sun. Let's have our final words with our colleagues up here. Jack, what did you make of free practice 2? And what do you think is going to happen going into Saturday as the sun sets here in Baku?
What do you think the chances are, though, that this is completely meaningless and times could be completely different tomorrow? At the end of the day, it could be completely meaningless. It could be that Lando Norris could suddenly be fastest in qualifying tomorrow. But he needs to sort his pace out at the moment.
I'm going 90% that it's useless from this today. In all honesty, it's made no sense whatsoever. Anyway, thank you, Jack, for your company today. I know we're not with you tomorrow, but will we have you on Sunday for any F2 action?
No, refereeing.
Oh, that's annoying. Well, if you can, I think JT's handling NASCAR.
I think it's on at I think my kickoff is the exact time of the race start.
That is so annoying. So annoying. All right, well, thank you, Jack, very much for today in the session, and we'll let you know what's happening with NASCAR as well in the comms box booths. Thank you, Jack. Thank you to all of you at home as well. It's been an interesting session here today. Not much has been learned. Ferrari seem quick, but so does Red Bull, but only that of Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen's having issues, but Leclerc crashed, complained over bent steering, then went fastest. Nothing's making sense here in balmy Baku. Join us tomorrow for free practice 3 and the qualifying hour for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Bye-bye.